Before we discuss the approach to subject history, gender studies, we must be very clear about certain things. Number one, what the subject we studied in our 10th class. Some of you may have had it even up to 12th also. In graduation and PG. That's all different when it comes to UPSC. I am making certain things quite clear to you with regarding the subject history. Kindly follow them. Number one, what the subject we learned in our earlier studies is just not the same for UPSC. In the sense, UPSC's perspective is different. Class, please note down. History for UPSC does not mean years, kings, battles, wars. Hope you are understanding. For UPSC, history does not mean kings, battles, wars, and the succession of events and all that. For UPSC, history means the legacy of the past that is important for history. Okay. Some of you are still under the impression that you are going to get questions on wars, battles, kings, etc. Very simple, I am telling you. You will not be getting questions on wars, kings, battles, dynasties. Please note this. Why I am making these things quite clear to you? Because you are still under the impression, that's what I told you. History means which king defeated whom, okay, which battle was fought in which year. Okay, this is the what history you people are taught and you still believe. Okay, but that is not what UPSC is going to ask. UPSC is going to ask. Okay, they are definitely going to. Okay, they are definitely going to ask questions on cultural history. Are you understanding? Not on wars, battles, kings. Please understand this. Okay. If at all they are asking questions, okay, these questions would be related to culture only. Okay. For instance, discuss the greatness of Krishnadeva Rai. There is a question, contribution of Krishnadeva Rai from Karnataka. You see, you have a great king, Krishnadeva Rai. UPSC will not ask you questions on Krishnadeva Rai defeated which kings and what all he had done, not. UPSC will ask questions on culture glory of Krishnadeva Rai. I mean, culture contribution of Krishnadeva Rai. So questions would be on culture glory, legacy, but not on political history, battles, kings, dynasties. Clear? So don't burden yourself with all unnecessary details. Okay. I am going to give you important questions, important areas, not questions, important areas. That I will do definitely. But before that, please get these things very clear. Okay. Remove political history. It's not at all important for you. Okay. Very rarely you get questions on ancient and medieval economy. Very rarely you get questions on administrative systems, science, technology, and all that. By and large, UPSC is going to ask questions on cultural history of ancient India and medieval India, not on political history. Hope you are very clear. Okay. Reading ancient India, it's like this. Reading ancient India, for you, Pulakesin too, very great. Harshavardhan, great. Narsimhavarman, great. Guptas, Samudragupta, great. Ashok, the greatest. But you will not get questions on them. Class, hope you are getting my point. Did UPSC ever give you questions on imperialism of Samudragupta? Did UPSC ever give you questions on Harshavardhan, who defeated, Harshavardhan, and what are the battles of Harsha? They will not ask. Okay. They will be asking only cultural contribution, right? For UPSC, golden age of Guptas is not important. Gupta imperialism is not important. But a text to Mrityakatikam by Shudraka, that is very important. There's a drama called Mrityakatikam by Shudraka. Okay. That is the story of a prostitute falls in love with a merchant Brahmin, a pious Brahmin merchant, Charudat. It's a love story of a prostitute Vasanta Sen and Charudat. That is more important for UPSC than Samudragupta, Chandragupta, their wars and all that. Clear? So, change your perspective because you are coming for UPSC, your perspective shall be different. Number one. Next, number two, second important thing. What you people are not doing, I am reminding you this. You kindly go through past question papers. Question papers, UPSC, okay, both for prelims and mains. What questions given by UPSC in the prelims part of history and what questions given by UPSC in the gender studies part of history. Okay. Generally, you people are not doing this. Class, please note this. Generally, you are not looking into the syllabus also. Simply you pay the fees. You come and sit in the class. Okay. That is very bad. You must see thoroughly the syllabus of UPSC, past questions of UPSC. Time and again, I'm telling you this. Okay. If you don't see the question papers of UPSC, okay, there would be a problem for you. Okay. Look at the seniors preparing for civil service. They don't know what to read, what not to read. Okay. For you to understand what to read, what not to read, okay, you need a thorough understanding of past question papers, number one. Next, number two, if you read past question papers, there is a possibility of you getting the same question again. Class, are you getting the point? UPSC does have one question bank. Sometimes they are repeating the questions just the same. They are repeating the questions just the same. Are you understanding? There is every possibility of same question to be repeated again. At least for that sake, you must see the past question papers to get an understanding with regarding what to read, what not to read. Right? Next, third important thing. People are asking this question even after the coaching program over, even after completing the coaching program. The question that very often asked by people, sir, how to remember? How to remember? Class, I am addressing a very important thing. Listen. You people are all obsessed with this question. Obsessed. How to remember whatever that you are reading? How to remember whatever that you are reading? How to remember whatever you are reading? This is the question you are asking. I am telling you, my dear, don't remember. Don't remember anything you read. If you are making an attempt to remember, you cannot remember. Class, please understand this. If you are studying something, to remember, it is humanly difficult to remember. Then what to do? Class, don't try to remember. Try to understand. Try to understand what you are reading. That's enough. Okay. Don't ever try to remember whatever that you read. Practically impossible. Right? Secondly, UPSC will not ask questions to test your memory. UPSC will only ask questions to test your conceptual clarity. UPSC will not ask questions to test your memory. UPSC will ask questions only to test your understanding, your conceptual clarity. Clear? Questions are multiple choice questions, A, B, C, D. Okay. You may not be knowing exact answer, but if you are conceptually clear, right, then you can definitely say what were not answers. You may not be knowing exact answer. You may not be knowing the answer for the question, but you'll definitely be in a position to say, which ones are not answers. Come to that stage. Hope you are understanding. I read enough. I read thoroughly. But I am not able to recollect exact answer, exact word given there in the multiple choice questions. Right? Okay. You have seen these multiple choice. A, definitely not the answer. B, doubtful. C, D, definitely not the answers. B, doubtful. You may not be knowing it exactly. but you know, somewhere you read it, somewhere you had come across about it. Okay. Padanekil Kanakkalu. Okay, this is what? This is a classical Tamil literature, Sangam literature. Okay. You must have read it, but you are not able to remember it. Are you understanding? But when you see it, you can recollect it. Follow the logic. When we see it, we can definitely recollect it. We can get connected to it. Come to that stage. Don't try to remember. It is very difficult. Problem is, when we can't remember, we'll become frustrated. However much I remember study, I am not able to remember. This will not make you to go to sleep even. I have seen people getting frustrated. Sir, I have read NCRT 3 times, 4 times like this, but I am not able to remember. Okay. So, candidates, please remember. Remember this, okay, that it is very difficult to remember whatever we study. Better we understand rather than try to remember. Right. Third problem, come to the question why you are not able to remember. You are not able to remember because you are not interested. This is again the problem. I am making these things quite clear, quite conspicuous to you. I am speaking in a very plain language so that you will understand it. Problem, class, please understand. Problem, we are not interested in what we are studying. Okay. We study polity, economy, history, right? Geography. But you see, we are forcing ourselves to study it. Okay. We are forced to do this. Okay. We are not finding the subjects interesting. That's where the real problem starts. Okay. When you are doing something you are not interested, how will you remember? Fundamental question. Preparing for civil service, why I am discussing all this? Preparing for civil service is a mind game. Class, remember this. It's a mind game. Those who had convinced themselves that they have to make it, they make it. Those who are still confused, okay, and thoroughly misled, they will end up as failures. That's why I'm telling you in the very beginning. In the very beginning, I'm telling you, don't try to remember. It's difficult. Try to understand. Next, number 2, it is not difficult to remember when you are really interested in what you are doing. Think about this. Are we really interested? Are you really interested to know about your history, your past culture? You are definitely not. It is that UPSC made it compulsory. Okay, cursing UPSC, okay, you are sitting in the class. Right. If UPSC has not made history part of the syllabus, I am sure no one would have definitely been, in the class. No one would sit in the class. Okay. People are going to the extent saying, sir, the subject is really boring. Sir, this subject is boring. That subject is really boring. Fine, I understand. Then tell me what is interesting. What is interesting? Okay. Hope I am striking at the root cause of the problem. Root cause of the problem. We are not interested in what we are doing. That's why the problem. We are interested in only success. Okay. We are interested. We are interested in only success. Understand? Not interested to learn. Please, class, understand. For one good reason, you have joined the coaching program. The good reason is, okay, you are going to learn. You are going to learn too many things. You are definitely going to be a someone different person altogether. What all happened yesterday, okay, today onwards is different for you. You are sitting in the chair, listening to the teacher, learning, learning, learning. Enjoy this process of learning. Enjoy this process of learning. If you are not finding the subject interesting, at least create interest. Okay. When I come to the class for the purpose of learning, I come to the class without any basic idea in my mind. I don't know anything. I'm learning. Okay. I don't know anything. I'm learning. Start like that. Then you will enjoy the class. When you are enjoying the class, there is no chance of you forgetting. Are you forgetting the dialogues of our favorite heroine and heroes in the movie? No. Some of you are so artistic, okay, so gifted, I'm telling you, you are just producing the dialogues. And some of you, some I have seen some of these boys, you see, dancing exactly the same manner their hero dances in the movie, just by looking at once. Yeah. Why not the same in the subject? It's because we are not interested. We are burdened. We feel bored. That's the problem. You don't believe it if I say this. You don't believe it if I say this. Within 1 month of the first 1 month of the coaching program, within first 1 month of the coaching program, nearly 10 students will drop out because they are not interested. They understand. We are not interested. We are struggling. We can't make it. Nothing wrong. They withdraw themselves. Same is the case at a national level. Class, remember, nearly 3,40,000 students apply. Of the 3,40,000, at least 2 lakhs will sit for the exam. For various reasons, rest of them won't give attempt. Right? Of this 2 lakhs, please remember, only 10% are the ones who are really serious. Competition is between only these 10%. Not all the ones who are applying. Class, note down these things. Okay. Finally, I am telling you, what matters is interest that matters. When you are really interested, you don't feel the burden. When you are really interested, you don't forget what you are doing. Okay. Do it out of your interest. Don't go against your mind. If you go against your mind, then it will have only a negative effect. That's why I tell my boys, go for movies, go for ground to play, do whatever that makes your mind relax. Then come for studies. No point in studying midnight, up to 12, 1 o'clock like that, 18 hours a day like that. It's not. Okay. 3, 4 hours, very serious preparation, involved preparation. 3, 4 hours a day involved. Okay. Next, other important thing I'm telling you. You are sitting for the civils. Okay. At the prime time of your youth, all of you 22 to 28, like that, your age range, I'm telling you, age group, right? Prime time of your youth, right? Enough is enough. We have seen what all do we seen, right? We led a very happy life in our engineering colleges or medical colleges studying. Not that much interested in studies at that time, right? We know what questions come, how to manage to get good marks and all that. Okay, we had our boyfriends, girlfriends, and all that. That's enough. That's over. From today, it's entirely a different life. Class, please understand one thing. I have been teaching for the last 30 years, 3 decades. You people are not age-wise, okay, of the experience I had in teaching. I have seen in these 30 years of my teaching, very intelligent, IIT, IIM gold medalists. They failed in the prelims. They failed in the prelims. Whereas a mere graduate from Open University, BA Open University, All India third rank, BA Open University, All India 43 rank, IAS candidates. And very interesting, there is one candidate who was actually a street gunda. Gunda. Okay. Street gunda. I had seen him in action also. Very interesting. Okay. I had seen him lifting one person, virtually throwing him. Okay. A gunda, one of my best students. Very good at heart, but very violent temperament-wise. Very good at heart, very violent at temperament-wise. Failed 10th class, not once, twice he failed. He got into services. He got into services. And above all, there is one exemplary candidate, blind, 90% blind. Can you believe it? Class, can you believe it? He is IFS. You have instances of blind also getting into IAS also. Okay. Think about this. Just 2 minutes of your time, think about this. When persons physically challenged, physically, handicapped, when persons who are not that promising in studies could get into civil service, why not we? Okay. Civil service is not an exam for testing your academic credentials. Please note down this. I told you, IIT, IIM, they failed in the prelims. Okay. Then what does UPSC expects? Are you ready for a consistent and involved effort? Commitment is very important. Involvement is very important. From today onwards, my world is different. Okay. No boyfriend, no girlfriend, nothing. Okay. No father, no mother, no sister, no brother. My world is myself and my books. That's all. I tell you another important thing. There is one gentleman, Sandhu, All India second rank holder, 22 years. Okay. This Sandhu sits in the class. He doesn't make any notes. Okay. With rapt attention, he would listen to the teacher. Okay. Once the class is over, you can't believe it. He writes a review of entire class, not missing out one single point. Wonderful student. Okay. He told me many a time, sir, I don't study anything. I just listen to the teacher. I can make out. He's telling absolutely, right thing. Okay. He asked me what books to be read. Then I gave him 8 books. Can you believe it? Within 1 week, he had written them all. Written them all, marking important points with a pencil. I could make out. Look at the person's involvement. This is very important. You may be a 3rd class student, 3rd grade student. You may be a failure, but UPSC will reward you if you are really industrious. Class, remember, it is not intelligence. It is industry that matters. What matters is industry. Are you ready for that? Involvement. Are you ready for that? Okay. Then you will definitely see success. Okay. These are the things I wanted to discuss in the very beginning. Right. Now I am going to give you an overall view of the subject and important areas of the subject. When it comes to civils, prelims and general studies, history, at the prelims, paper 1, you have 100 questions. Of these 100 questions, minimum of 12, maximum of 21. Generally, this is the ratio. Out of 100, minimum of 12, maximum of 21. This is the range out of 100. The history questions you are going to get at the prelims level. Right. If you say minimum of 12, okay, then more than half, say half and more than half from modern India. That means 6 from modern India. Let us say this. The remaining 6 divided between ancient and medieval. Okay. Ancient India, okay, medieval India, right. This ratio might be changing. Sometimes you get only 2, 4, right? Like that also. Okay. It will also be interchanging. I mean, okay, 2 from ancient India, 4 from medieval India, right? 4 from ancient India, 2 from medieval India, like that. Okay. Whatever it might be, 50% of the history questions would be from ancient and medieval put together. Ancient and medieval put together. Remaining 50% and more than that from modern India. So modern India is very, very, very important for you. Right. When ancient and medieval put together, you are getting 6 questions. Now come to the point. Where are actually these questions are drawn from? What are the important areas? Class, note down. Now I am giving you important areas. This class is very, very important. When you can note down and understand what that really matters, what are the important areas for civil service, you don't require any teacher, I'm telling you. You can read it on your own. You can prepare the notes on your own. Coaching, please understand, coaching is guiding. I'm guiding you. These are the important areas. These are important chapters. When I say this, and you understood it and you followed it, that is, enough. That is what is meant by coaching. Coaching is not like A to Z, instructing you everything on every chapter. No. Coaching is to make you understand what is important and what is not. Got the point? That's why I told you, don't expect coaching centers to teach you everything A to Z. I'm making a sweeping statement. Sweeping statement. No coaching center in India can do justice. Go to any institute in India, top brands. If they claim the success as their success, they are totally wrong. Success goes to the student only. You guided them, right? They have done everything. We teach them, but more than that, you have to guide them. This is how you have to go. Show them very intelligent and very committed students. They don't require anything except the first class. They tell me, sir, what are the areas? If I say these are important, then he will thank me and go, that's all. He will do everything on his own. You must come to that stage. Don't depend too much on any coaching center. Don't depend too much on any faculty. They can't do justice. Problem, what all I learned, I can't teach you within, 100 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours like that. Practically impossible. Don't blame the faculty. Faculty cannot teach everything that they learned. Okay, no time. So you have to do everything on your own. Okay. So note down important chapters, important areas. Very, very important for you. To begin with, ancient India. These chapters are important for you for your both mains and prelims and mains. Ancient India. Number one, sources. Number two, prehistoric cultures. Prehistoric cultures means Stone Age cultures. And Metal Age cultures. Right. Third chapter, Indus Valley civilization. In this chapter, Indus Valley civilization, again, most important areas, right? I mean, subtopics of Indus Valley civilization. Number one, cities. Indus Valley cities. Next, number 2, society. Number 3, economy. Number 4, religion. Number 5, art forms. Mark art forms very, very important. This is very important, art forms. Okay. Last one, causes for end. Decline of IBC. Indus Valley civilization. These are the important areas of the chapter Indus Valley civilization. Mark this chapter very important. Chapter very important. Important for both prelims and the mains general studies. Next, number 4, Vedic civilization. In this chapter, Vedic civilization, most important part is Vedic. Mark Vedic literature important. You know Vedic literature, Shruti, Smruti, 2 parts. Shrutis means 4 Vedas. Vedas, Brahmana, Aranyaka, Upanishads. Right? Then you have 6 Vedangas, 4 Upavedas, all come under Vedic literature. You are getting questions on Vedic literature. Mark it important. Important chapter, Vedic literature, in the topic Vedic civilization. Right. Next, this chapter is the most important. What is the most important chapter? Religious reform movements. Buddhism, Jainism, and Brahmanism. Okay. Mark this chapter, okay, most important. Most important, Buddhism, Jainism, and Brahmanism. Right. In these chapters, Buddhism, Jainism, and Brahmanism. Class, please note down. At least one question you are getting in the prelims, either in the prelims or in the mains. That's why I'm telling you, entire ancient India, most important chapter, religious reform movements, Buddhism, Jainism, and Brahmanism. Okay. Then what is the most important part of Buddhism again? Okay, note down here. Most important part is Buddhist art, architecture, and sculpture. Buddhist art, architecture, and sculpture. Okay. Very, very important. Okay. You remember, you got questions twice on Buddhist sculpture. Is it, visible there? If not, I'm writing it down on the top portion. Buddhist sculpture, SCULPTURE, Buddhist sculpture. Under Buddhist sculpture, you have Gandhara, Mathura, and Amaravati. Schools of art. Gandhara, Mathura, and Amaravati schools of art. Mark all this, very important. Next important area is Buddhist religious ideas. In other words, Buddhist philosophy. Right. This is equally important. Okay. Next, Jainism. Okay. When it comes to Jainism, same thing, Jain philosophy. Contribution of Jainism. I'm writing down. I'm writing. There's no need to repeat. I'm writing. Under Jainism, most important part is Jain philosophy. Contribution of Jainism to Indian culture. Right. Then what is Brahmanism? Under Brahmanism, you have Shaivism, Shiva, worshipping Shiva. Vaishnavism, before the Bhagavatism, right like this. Shaivism, Bhagavatism, and Vaishnavism. This is the most important part, right? You are definitely going to get questions, both at the prelims and in the mains, right? Again, I'm telling you, whatever the chapters I'm telling you important, you please see the questions. Questions, UPSC, past questions. Clear? Prelims and mains. Next. Next important chapter is Mauryas. Under Mauryas, most important part is Mauryan art forms. Okay. I am not discussing here Samrat Ashok, okay, Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara, and all that. I told you already, you will not be getting questions on political history. Okay. Questions would be cultural. Then, what is the culture contribution of Mauryas? Culture contribution of Mauryas, we see it in art forms. Okay. What are the art forms? Number one, Ashokan pillars. Number two, Ashokan inscriptions. Number three, Mauryan pottery. Pot making. Next, number four, Mauryan sculpture. Next, number five, cave temple architecture. These are all Mauryan art forms. Sampath, what is the need to repeat? I am writing it down, you know. Why are you asking repeat, repeat? Are you not able to hear? Class, is my voice not audible to you? It is audible, number one. Can't you see what I am writing there? What is written on the screen, is it visible or not? Then what is to be repeated? Sampath, what do you want me to repeat? What is to be repeated? If network is the problem is there, that's why I'm writing it down, you know. Shahid Afridi, Shahid, Mauryan art forms are different. They have nothing to do with religious reform movements. This is a separate chapter. Right, Shahid? Fine. You first listen. Lakshmikant, first you listen. I am telling you the important chapters. Then I will tell you what important textbooks are. Follow me. Don't ask me questions much in advance. Questions, that's what I'm telling. Refer the questions papers in the last 10 years. Right. I will give you time to ask me questions. Then you please ask me questions. When I'm mentioning the areas, please note down. Don't go, beyond my purview. Don't lag behind. Follow me. Next, you see Ashokan pillars, Ashokan inscriptions, Mauryan pottery, Mauryan sculpture, cave temple architecture. These are the most important areas under the chapter Mauryas. This is a separate chapter. Right. Next chapter, I don't know the serial number. Okay, might be around 5 or 6. Next chapter, yeah, 7, fine. Next chapter, okay. Tamil Sangam Age. Tamil Sangam literature. Mark this chapter also important. Okay. Tamilians, you see, they had a very rich literary tradition, great literary tradition called Sangam Age literature. Sangam literature. Okay. From 2nd century BC onwards, you had classics composed in Tamil literature called Sangam literature. Important for you from the examination point of view. Right? Okay. Note down this chapter, important. Okay. Next. When it comes to the age of Guptas, I told you, Gupta's political history not important, right? Under Guptas, now write down, what is important is Gupta Golden Age. What is Golden Age? Remarkable progress. Progress made in art, architecture, music, literature, painting. This is called Golden Age. Art, architecture, music, literature, and painting is called Golden Age. Okay. You note down. Golden Age means, I'm writing down here, art, architecture, literature, painting, and development in sciences. Okay. Progress, class, please note down. Okay. India made a remarkable progress in all these areas. A progress of that type not seen before and after. That's why it is called Golden Age. Okay. This particular part, okay, Golden Age, very, very important for you, both for prelims and mains. Note down this area, important for prelims and as well mains. Next. Cultural contribution. Of Pallavas. Pallavas ruling Tamil Nadu. Great contribution of Pallavas. Very, very important. Okay. Under this again, you see, you come across art, architecture, literature, painting, right? Under Pallavas. Very, very important. Cultural contribution of Pallavas, it covers art, architecture, painting, and literature. Right. Just as that, next important chapter is cultural contribution. Western Chalukyas. Same areas, art, architecture, painting, and literature. Right. Class, these are the important areas on ancient India. Right. Read these areas. Okay. Then you may ask me a question. Sir, should we to ignore altogether political history? It's not like that. Not little bit. Don't give any importance. I told you, you will not get questions on wars, battles, you understand, kings. Okay. But there is a possibility of you getting questions. Kindly add there. 11th chapter, Ancient India. Administrative systems. Administrative systems of in ancient India. Tejaswini, architecture means what architecture? Tejaswini, architecture means what architecture? Constructing my house and your house? That's right. Architecture means the three schools of architecture. Dravida, Vesara, and Nagara. That is what is architecture. Please don't pose questions when I am addressing you people. You ask your questions when I complete. When I complete, then only you ask. Secondly, think about this. Before asking a question, architecture means what architecture? Think about this and ask me. Architecture in ancient India means temple architecture, Buddhist architecture, stupa, chaitya vihars, Jain architecture, basadis. I don't have to say Dravida, Vasara, Nagara, and all that. Temple architecture means that only. Right. You please don't post your comments and questions before I complete. You ask your questions once I complete. Right. These are the important areas of ancient India. Okay. Administrative systems. Note down this. The Samanta system under Guptas, right? Administrative systems. Next, development of science and technology. Development of science and technology. Note down this also. Important under ancient India. Right. Next important area, medieval India. Important chapters in medieval India. Give the heading, medieval India. Medieval India means, within brackets, 700 to 1757. Are you understanding? Nearly a history of India for more than 1000 years. 700 to 1757. In medieval India, again, I am telling you, you have sultans, Mughals, Cholas, Vijayanagar rulers. Politically, these are not at all important. Not at all important. Wars, battles, kings. What is very important is, again, cultural history of medieval India. Okay, note down. In medieval India, cultural history. Under the cultural history of medieval India, number one, contribution of Cholas. Next, contribution of Rashtrakutas. Right. Cultural contribution, very important. Next, next chapter I'm telling you, very, very important. Indo-Islamic culture. Second chapter, Indo-Islamic culture. Very, very, very important. Indo-Islamic culture means a mixed culture because of Islam and Hinduism interacting with each other. Got the point? Hindus and Muslims clashed with each other. Wars were there. It does not mean always they clashed. Always they went for war with each other. No, that is totally wrong. There were areas where Hindus and Muslims cooperated with each other, accepted each other. There's a great interaction between the two. Where do you see this interaction? In religion, art, architecture, music, literature, painting, and all that. It's because of interaction in religion, you have great bhakti movement. Islam influenced by Hinduism. Don't say Islam not influenced. Muslims follow certain practices of Hindus. Hindus follow certain practices of Muslims. Isn't it? You know, my dear, in Karnataka also, you have Hindus giving names to their children after the great Sufi saints. Mysura Reddy, Mysore Babu, Gaus Basha, Hindu names. Hindus taking the names of these great Muslim saints. Okay. Muslims also follow Hindu practices. Right? Nazar, like that. When I go to the chapter, I'll discuss all that. Okay. This is close interaction between Islam and Hinduism that influenced first religion, then art, architecture. In the Hindu constructions also, you go to Hampi, your Hampi, there you see Padma Mahal, Lotus Palace, completely influenced by Islam. In Hampi, you have very big buildings meant for elephants to stay. There you see domes and arches. Dome and arch means Islamic architecture. Okay. So where all you see the influence of Islam on Indian society. This chapter very, very, very important, both for prelims and mains. Mark it most important, right? For prelims and mains. Then what are the sub-chapters or the areas in this topic? Number one, Bhakti movement. Number two, Sufi movement. In religion, Bhakti and Sufi. Next, architecture. Indo-Islamic architecture. You see, under Indo-Islamic architecture, okay, Hindu-Muslim styles, right? There are two stages. What are the two stages that develop? Number one, imperial architecture. Number two, provincial architecture. Are you understanding? Imperial architecture means, okay, what all we see, the architecture that developed, or what all the constructions we see in Delhi, Agra, and Fatehpur Sikri. Three cities, Delhi, Agra, and Fatehpur Sikri. That architecture imperial. Provincial architecture means the architecture that developed in different parts of India, wherever Muslims founded their, empires. Muslims founded their regional kingdoms in Bengal, Jaunpur, Malwa, Bahmani Empire. In Karnataka, you have Bahmani Empire, right? So, in all these places, regional styles develop that come under provincial architecture. So, two stages of architecture developed under Indo-Islamic architecture. Next. Next important point is, next important area is, okay, music, Sangeet. Under music in medieval India, you have Carnatic, Carnatic, not Karnatic, Carnatic and Hindustani. Two music traditions developed, right? Very important. Next, classical dances. Next, painting. Painting, what that developed in medieval India. Next, literature. All come under Indo-Islamic culture. Very, very important. Right? Market, most important chapter. Next important chapter is administrative systems. Right? Next, science and technology. Trade and commerce. Sometimes we are getting questions on this also, but very remote chance. These are the important chapters of medieval India. Right. Then go to modern India. What are the important chapters of modern India? Yeah. When it comes to modern India, most important chapter is freedom struggle. This is the most important chapter. Mark it important. You will not have question paper without freedom struggle and in prelims and mains. Most important freedom struggle. Right? Nearly half of modern India's syllabus, okay, you have to devote it for freedom struggle. It takes not less than 25 to 30 classes for us to complete entire freedom struggle. Right? Mark it very important. Next important chapter, constitutional reforms. (1773) Regulating Act to 1935 Government of India Act. All the constitutional reforms. Okay. From 1773 Regulating Act to 1935. Very important. Next, number 3, reformist movements. Reformist movements, okay, you know, Brahmo Samaj, Arya Samaj, right? Theosophical Society, very important. We study these reform movements under Hindu reform, Hindu, okay, Muslim, Parsi, right? And Sikh, right? In all the communities, you have great reformist movements. Apart from these reformist movements, under the same chapter, you have lower caste movements, very, very important. Okay. Right? Mahatma Jyotiba Phule to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Lower caste movements. Next, number 4, next important chapter. Okay. Administrative reforms. Under administrative reforms, most important, education policy. They all come under administrative reforms. Okay. Next important area, economic policies and their impact. Economic policies means what? Revenue systems. What are the revenue systems, my dear? Jamindari, Rayatwari, and Mahalwari. These are revenue systems. Okay. I will write it here. Okay. Malwari not visible. Jamindari, Rayatwari, Mahalwari. Right. Next, under the same system, economic policies, under the same chapter, economic policies, trade and commercial policy. Under the fifth chapter, economic policy, you have trade and commercial policy. Next one, under the same chapter 5, trade and commercial policy. Under this topic, trade and commercial policy, we have drain of wealth. Deindustrialization. Okay, very important chapters. You are getting questions on them, right? Next, important areas. Okay. British, against British imperialism in India, there are great movements. Okay. These movements were by tribe, forest tribes, peasant movements, Jamindari movements, right? Civil rebellions. All these movements finally culminated in the form of Great 1857 Revolution. Okay. You have movements. What are the movements? Jamindari. Okay. Next, peasant movements. Peasant means farmer. Next, tribal. Next, civil. Civil revolts. Civil revolts like 1857 revolt. Very, very important. 1857 revolution. Right. Market important. Particularly under 1857 revolt, okay. In prelims, you are getting questions. In prelims, you are getting questions on centers and the leaders. In the mains, nature and character. Prelims, we are getting questions on centers and leaders. Mains, naturally, you see very important, and the favorite area of the examiner, nature and character. Right. Fine. Last one important area is British expansionism. Okay. under British expansionism, okay, it all started with what? Okay, conquest of Bengal, right? Conquest of Bengal means Plassey. That is Battle of Plassey, right? Next, conquest of Mysore, right? Anglo-Mysore Wars. Next, Marathas. Next, Punjab. These are, the territories English conquered. This I rate the last. I have come by priority areas. Generally, we discuss British expansionism first, freedom struggle last. But I have given you freedom struggle, the topmost area, priority area. Right? These are the important chapters. Right? Class, please listen. Your preliminary exam is only up to freedom struggle. Got the point? Only up to 1947, August 15, India getting independence. Right? When you go to mains gender studies, we have two more areas added. Right? What are the two areas added in the mains? Okay. In the mains, you have post-independent India. Okay. Post-independent India and world history. These two are added in the mains. What are the, chapters added in the mains? In the mains, okay. Number one, post-independent India. For post-independent India, okay, be very clear. Okay. Post-independent India means 1947 to 1971. Be very careful. Post-independent India means not up to Modi coming to power. Right? Post-independent India means India facing problems in the beginning. How India could overcome these problems. Okay. Up to Indo-Pak War 1971, formation of Bangladesh. That is post-independent India. Generally, you are not getting any questions, of late in the mains on this area. Why? Because what happened after 47, we study it under polity, under our international relations. In economy, you have 5-year plans. This comes under polity, economy, and IR. That's why UPSC is not giving any questions on this particular area. But you have prescribed, you have the chapter prescribed, post-independent India. Right? Then you have world history. Right? When it comes to world history, UPSC prescribed only 6 chapters. What are the 6 chapters? Number one, major events. From the middle of 18th century. Such as industrialization, right? This word, my dear, such as, is highly misleading. Generally, we say that is the end of the topic. industrial revolution, right? But it's not like that. Okay. Major events such as industrial revolution. It means there are other events also. What are the other events in the same chapter? The other events, American Revolution and the French Revolution, right? Within brackets, American. They did not prescribe, but we have to take it like that. American Revolution and French Revolution. They are also prescribed, okay? But they are not specified. This is the first chapter. Next, second chapter in world history, second chapter, colonialism. Third chapter, world wars. 1 and 2. As total wars. I am sure you people have not seen the syllabus. That's why I'm writing down all this. Next, number 4, decolonization. That means how colonies got independence. Decolonization. Next, 5. They are concepts. What are the concepts? Capitalism, socialism, and communism. Next, 6th chapter. Okay. Redrawal of boundaries. These are the chapters prescribed in world history. Right? This is overall view and the important chapters. Now you are asking for books. Which books to be studied? Okay. Textbooks. After the chapter music in medieval India, painting, literature, classical dances, painting, music, literature. These are the chapters I said under Indo-Islamic. You please ask your questions after my explanation is over. Now I am giving you bibliography, books to be read. Take the list of the books. Don't worry about it. You please ask me after my explanation is over. I will get back to you. On medieval India, you missed out. I will get back to you. Books recommended. NCERT. Old NCERTs. Okay. Class 11 and 12th. Yeah. What are these old NCERTs, class 11 and 12th? Number 1, Ancient India. By R.S. Sharma. Class 11. Number 2, Medieval India. Satish Chandra. Class 11. Next, Modern India. By Bipin Chandra. For class 12. Right? These are compulsory for you. Class, please note down, compulsory. Okay. Its modern India is very important. That's why I add 2 more textbooks for modern India. Okay. One is Grover and Mehta. Title Modern India. Next, IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National Open University, Modern India. This is very well written. You go for these books also. Compulsory. They are all compulsory. Right? Fine. Next, Indian culture. For Indian culture, number 1, Indian culture. Title itself, Indian culture. by CCRTC, Council for Cultural Research and Training, CCRT. Okay, this is very well written, CCRT. Okay, all the notes prepared by coaching centers in India simply extracted from these notes, simply extracted from this textbook, Indian Culture by CCRT. Next, number 2, an introduction to Indian art. By an introduction to Indian art by NCERT. This is very well written. Class 11. Next, Indian culture. When you read these two, then only you read. Okay, Nitin Singhania. Don't go to Nitin Singhania straight. Are you understanding, my dear? First, read the basic textbooks. Class, please understand one thing. Questions given by UPSC, answers are seen in this textbook. Answers are found in this, not Nitin Singhania. Okay, people are crazy about Nitin Singhania, Nitin Singhania. He doesn't discuss any question. He is simply giving you facts. Concept he doesn't discuss. Nitin Singhania doesn't discuss concept. Please understand. Okay. Questions on cultural history of India, how prehistoric cave art influenced modern art. Okay. Did Nitin Singhania discuss this? No answer for this question in Nitin Singhania. Right? Another question, how will you construct the history of Deep South? History of Deep South on the basis of Tamil literature. Show me answer for this question in Nitin Singhania. Discuss cultural contribution of Krishna Deva Rai. Not at all discussed. Right. Most of the questions given by UPSC, you don't see answers in Nitin Singhania. If I don't mention it, people are not happy. You see, you have your own ideas. You don't trust your teachers also. That is the problem. You go to various websites. You want someone to write something and you are ready to follow that. Okay. Are toppers are talking about it. Are Nitin Singhania toppers talk about it because they are also candidates. They are not teachers. As a teacher, I know what is the stuff of Nitin Singhania. Okay. Question in UPSC, where does Buddha, okay, what do you mean by Buddha touching the earth? Bhumi Mudra. That is the question. Where is the answer for this? Okay. That's why I'm telling you, first read NCERT, okay, an introduction to Indian art. Read Indian culture. This is by Council for Cultural Research and Training. They are government textbooks. Then only you go to Nitin Singhania. Right. Don't go beyond that. There's no point. Okay. That is for culture. Right. Next, for post-independent India. Okay. For post-independent India, India since independence. Title, India since independence. This is by Bipin Chandra. Okay. Well written. There are 43 chapters, but actually only 13 chapters are important. I will ask you people, our Rajkumar Academy, to display all this. Okay, what 13 chapters, what NCRT chapters important and all that. Right. So India since independence by Bipin Chandra, read that for post-independent India. Right. Next, for world history, okay. Number 1, mastering world history. By Norman Lowe. Very well written. Class, this is a very good work. LOWE. Next, world history. By Jain and Mathur. Next, world history. NCRT. Right? This is by Arjun Dev. Right. Don't go beyond this. This is enough. Right. Class, I have given you important areas. I told you what is the nature of the subject history for civils. What to read, what not to read. What textbooks you have to follow. Next, don't read entire textbook. Read the textbook only for the chapters prescribed in the syllabus. Right? Mastering world history, you have more than 60 chapters. All that are not important. Only that 6 chapters prescribed by UPSC. Right? Similarly, don't have to read all the world history NCRTs. Read NCRTs of world history, okay, as per the syllabus prescribed. Got the point? Don't go for entire NCRT. It's waste of time. Okay. This is what I want to tell you. Now, you please ask your questions. So now some of you are asking, sir, are the textbooks are for KS? I don't know what is KS. Karnataka Administrative Services, perhaps. I have no idea about that services, Group 1, Group 2 and all that. Don't come for Group 1, Group 2 sake for civil service class. Because you'll be expecting objective type of questions, multiple choice questions. You will not be happy. Only for Group 1, Group 2, go to that program. If you are preparing for civil service, then you are thinking about Group 1, Group 2, that is different. Spectrum, don't read spectrum in the beginning. I told you, you first read these textbooks, NCRT, okay, Grover and Mehta. Spectrum is nothing but, class listen, Spectrum Modern India is nothing but NCRT plus Grover and Mehta, pages lifted. Paragraphs lifted, complete. You check it for yourself. You read NCRT Bipin Chandra. You read Grover and Mehta, then you go to Spectrum. if time permits. Otherwise, don't bother about it. Right, next. Spectrum is nothing but Bipin Chandra NCRT and Grover and Mehta. Details about which chapters to be read in the textbooks. I will display it in your portal. I will ask, Rajkumar Academy to display it in the portal. You just go through that. They will let you know. Next. Is imperialism and colonialism both the same? Are Sangeeta, why are you asking that now? That is concept, topic. It's a chapter altogether. Colonialism, imperialism, they are two different ones. In imperialism, Sangeeta, listen. In imperialism, you occupy. You may or you may not rule. You conquer a country, you may or you may not rule. But in colonialism, you will rule. Not only rule, you will also bring change in polity, economy, society, and culture. That is colonialism. Don't ask questions on topics, chapters. You ask questions on what I said. Next. Is Tamil Nadu 11th standard ancient India book not necessary? You read it. Time permits, you read it. I don't say necessary. How to tackle philosophy, biology questions. What is this? Philosophy, ideology questions. Philosophy, ideology questions. What are these questions? I don't know. You pose a question like that, then I will answer. You bring the question, I will answer. Sorry to ask, sir, but it is important to study. What is this? After music, I told you, after music, dance, painting, literature. That's what? History of Modern India by Bipin Chandra. That is nothing but NCRT. Since the decade of 1920, the national movement, what is this? The national movement acquired various ideological strands. Don't ask me questions, I told you. You want me to answer your questions on subject? Ask your questions on syllabus I covered. Full form of CCRT, Cultural Research, Center for Cultural Research and Training, CCRT. What are you listening here in the class? You people, you don't listen in the class. I told you world history is not there in the prelims. Get it again. Write it there. World history not there in the prelims. I am writing. In spite of telling you again, you are asking the same thing. World history, it is here. Not for Prelims. Note down this. World history, not for prelims. Next. Next question. Read for world history, read first one, Norman law. That will be enough. I don't say enough because you are interested to reduce your burden. Fine, if you are really able to understand it, only one textbook. Class is enough, not even textbooks. So I will leave it to your wisdom. I will leave it to your time. If you are confident with the class, confined to only class, you don't require even textbooks. If not, go for only one textbook. Whatever that you read, you are happy with that, read only that. What do you mean by this PYQ? How to analyze PYQ? What do you mean by PYQ? What do you mean by textbooks? I don't cover any textbooks. I will discuss questions, previous year questions in the right context. IGNOU Modern History downloadable through internet? I don't know. In Bangalore, Rajkumar Academy, they have one shop also. One shop in Chandra Layout. There they are giving you IGNOU. You can buy, you can get it for 100 rupees or so. But it's a good book, very well written, IGNOU material. Next. There are other topics after music, sir. I am asking about main topics, not subtopics. Okay. I will give you. Just wait. Let me complete these questions. I will get back to you. Next. Next question. Does the concept of keeping, what is this? Concepts of keeping the books minimum and post your question again. New NCRT sub 6 to 11th, I don't recommend. You don't have to read. What about optional? If you are confident, go for it. See that questions given. If you are in a position to answer the optional questions given, then go for it. History related current affairs. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by history related current affairs? What do you mean by history related current affairs? Neos for culture. I have not seen what is Neos, so I don't tell you. If you have time, read that. That's right. Read less. Try to recollect more. Read less textbooks. Remember more. Try to recollect more. No point in reading extensively and forgetting. I mentioned IGNOU for ancient India, medieval India, or modern India. I mentioned IGNOU for ancient India. Did I mention it for ancient? Did I mention it for medieval? Again, you are asking it for modern India. Then take it for modern India only. IGNOU for modern only. Right. Next. Hey, I don't know here, my dear. Why are you asking questions like this? You are grown-up people. I mentioned IGNOU for modern. Again, you are asking, is it for modern? Medieval India, I mentioned number 1. Any questions? Questions, you please go ahead. Ask me your doubts. What about Tamil Nadu NCRT? I have answered this question already. Tamil Nadu NCRT, if you time permits, you read it. Otherwise, it's not required. I am writing it again for those who missed out important chapters for medieval India. Okay. Afridi, you missed it out, I think. You can note down. Yes, please note down. Can we overlap the concepts of prelims? For Arjun Dev, world history, is it history of the world or story of civilization? Both. Both are there. Story of civilization and history of the world, both are there. But go for only 6 chapters of the syllabus. Is there necessary to know all the dates and years from history? Sai, please ask the class, what did I tell you? You were there in the class or at home or somewhere else? What did I tell you in the class? Again, you are asking, is dates are important, years are important. Ask your friends. I will not answer your question. Science and technology, administrative systems, growth of trade. Can we get this concept on optional or do we get any? Please post your question again. Please ask your question again. Afridi, these are the topics I mentioned. Afridi, did you take down? Afridi, are you clear? Right, my dear. Any other question? There is one question I missed out. Before I read it, it disappeared. I don't know who asked it. Please post it. Is World NCRT and Oxford publication of Ancient India by R.S. Sharma same? No, that they are two different ones. I believe. Okay, go for only NCRT, not Oxford one. Go for NCRT R.S. Sharma. Can we get all these concepts on mains optional or do we get extra concepts? Please explain. See, mains is quite extensive. Elaborate. Mains is extensive and elaborate. Don't be under the impression that simply preparing for prelims, you can go for mains. It's not like that. Preparing for the mains, you can think about answering your prelims part of history questions. Get the point? Some of you are asking, sir, the subject is really interesting. Okay. And we are confident of taking history optional. That is different. See the questions also first. Mains history questions. They are very critical. They are very analytical. If you have the ability, history optional, right? Prelims is very much limited. Mains, it is very vast. There are some chapters you don't discuss them in the prelims at all. In the mains syllabus, there are chapters which we don't discuss in the prelims. So these two are two different. When you are preparing for mains, you can come down to prelims. But preparing for prelims, you can't expect mains. I'm not telling you it's strong in prelims, you can do well in the mains. But it does not mean that is everything you know about it. Clear? Hope you got the difference. There are certain chapters that we don't discuss it in the preliminary and history classes. Chapters in the mains. Got the point? For instance, Adi Shankaracharya, Alberuni, UPSC is asking them in the mains. In prelims, Adi Shankaracharya, only in a limited 4-5 sentences, that's all. Prelims, in the mains, Shankara was given for 60 marks. What will you write for an Adi Shankaracharya? That way, mains is extensive. Be very clear about it. Right. I'll close the session. Class is over.